Chapter 10-12. After finishing her makeup, Guan Xiaohe stood on the side in a daze, awed. Too beautiful. She might be female also, but she could feel her heart pounding. She couldn't get jealous at all. The other people in the store all looked the same. The girl was beautiful enough to begin with, but with some dressing up later, she was so good-looking that it took their breaths away. This girl was different from the mass of standard beauties in the entertainment industry. Her beauty was enticing to both men and women, almost invasive in its degree. Zhou Shangjing couldn't help but secretly bet that if this girl entered the entertainment industry, she could stand shoulder to shoulder with the siren, Xie Zhizhi, relying on her looks and aura alone. On the sofa, Si Yihan's pupils contracted slightly as he watched the brilliant and eye-catching girl that captured everyone's gaze. Yi Wanwan was also astonished by the girl in the mirror. She had never dressed up so formally. Yi Wanwan touched her face and exclaimed in surprise, "My goodness! I'm too good-looking. Audiobook, no wonder you're always worried about me. I'm also worried about myself." Si Yihan, Su Yi, everyone inside the store, when Guan Xiaohe heard her, she was startled briefly before chuckling in secret. This girl wasn't only pretty, but her personality was also very likable. No wonder the legendary patriarch of the Si family doted on her so much. Satisfied, very satisfied. Thanks for your hard work, teachers. Yi Wanwan said her thanks before happily holding her face. Ah, so happy. As expected, being pretty is the best. It was such a shame that she was ugly for so many years in her previous life and even died ugly. When you were dressed nice, your mood also improved. When Si Yihan saw Yi Wanwan's finished look and realized that other people would also see it, regret blossomed in his heart. However, it turned into indulgence when he saw her happiness. Si Yihan swept a stray lock of hair behind her ear before saying in a deep voice, "Stay beside me tonight. No running about." Yi Wanwan bobbed her head energetically. Yes, I know. I'm so beautiful, what would you do if I got kidnapped? You must watch over me carefully. Su Yi, what in the world happened in a mere year? How did Miss Wanwan go from courting death in all sorts of ways every day to having such a tight hold on Ninth Master? When he thought about this, it was simply too unbelievable. After Yi Wanwan finished being styled, she left SPE Styling Club with Si Yihan. When Han Xianyu saw them finally leaving the store, he promptly stood up. He discovered that the girl had switched into gorgeous attire and was intimately hooked onto the man's arm. They were about to head to the parking garage when Yi Wanwan spotted a sign of a dessert shop across from them and instantly paused. Ah! Audiobook, there's a pastry shop over there. Let's buy some cake to eat. You already ate a lot, Si Yihan reminded her. Yi Wanwan blinked her eyes. It's not for me. I'm buying it for Tang Tang. I'll bring it back for Tang Tang to eat. In the end, Yi Wanwan happily led Si Yihan toward the pastry shop. When Han Xianyu saw the two of them heading in his direction, he quickly grabbed a nearby magazine and covered his face. Fei Yang also nervously lowered his head. Ah, they're heading toward us. Nothing will happen, right? Chapter 10-13. Isn't this girl too pretty? Even Fei Yang, who had spent many years in the entertainment industry and seen all manner of beauties, was shocked by this girl's looks. When Han Xianyu saw the girl, he was also briefly dazzled by the girl's eye-catching looks. Moreover, the girl's features looked somewhat familiar. However, Han Xianyu was currently enraged by Si Yihan cheating, so he didn't pay attention to this insignificant detail. His face quickly darkened due to their intimate behavior. He couldn't lie to himself any longer. These two people were obviously an intimate couple. Xianyu, you must stay calm. You can't act recklessly here. Remember Yi Bai. If you cause any trouble, won't he have to end up cleaning up after you? As Fei Yang watched Han Xianyu's expression turning worser and worser, his heart trembled in fear, and he had no choice but to mention Yi Bai too. He wasn't overthinking. Han Xianyu's behavior simply looked too much like he was catching a cheating partner. However, at the mention of Yi Bai, Han Xianyu's expression became even worser for some reason. While Fei Yang was embroiled in all sorts of worries and possible mishaps, the girl reached them. As the girl approached, Fei Yang was dumbstruck by her stunning looks. Yi Wanwan was entirely focused on the food, so she naturally didn't notice the normal table of customers on the side and headed straight for the counter. "I want strawberry mousse, a macaron, daifuku, and an almond cake." Yi Wanwan jubilantly ordered the items she wanted. Because Yi Wanwan and Si Yihan were heading for a banquet, they were lavishly dressed. Hence, the store clerk took a while before she could regain her wits and look away from the handsome and beautiful couple. She hastily said, Yes. Please wait a moment, I'll pack it up for you now." "All right." Yi Wanwan nodded and held her breath in anticipation. Then, as though it wasn't her who wanted to eat it, she said to Si Yihan, "Ajio, think about how sad it is for Tang Tang to be home by himself. We have to buy more delicious food for him. Tang Tang definitely can't eat this much. That just means I can help out later." Si Yihan merely raised his brows but didn't expose her. Then he told the store clerk, "We'll have 2 servings of what she ordered." "Oh. I love you the most." Instantly, Yi Wanwan kissed Si Yihan's face happily. Currently, Han Xianyu's hands were tightly clenched, and his eyes were brimming with fury behind his sunglasses. "Xianyu, you can't." Fei Yang was only able to get half his sentence out before the person in front of him disappeared from his seat. "Miss, it's all packaged. Here it is." The store clerk handed the packaged desserts to Yi Wanwan. Sure. Thanks." Yi Wanwan happily took the box and hooked her arm around Si Yihan's arm before walking out of the store. However, a person suddenly walked in front of them from the side and blocked their path. The incomer was covered from head to toe. He wore a dark-colored jacket with a mask over his face and sunglasses over his eyes. Why's this person wrapped up like this in broad daylight? As Yi Wanwan thought that, the man suddenly said, "Mr. C." Upon hearing this man's voice, Yi Wanwan's heart skipped a beat. Shit! Why does this person's voice sound so much like? In the next second, the man slowly took off his mask then his sunglasses, revealing a handsome and familiar face. Chapter 1014, 1014 The moment Yi Wanwan saw who it was, her eyes shot open, and her mind exploded. Her world seemed to have crumbled, and she nearly went crazy. Damn. Han Xianyu. Why does it have to be Han Xianyu? This was scarier than seeing a ghost during the day. Currently, Yi Wanwan wished for nothing more than to fly into the sky or burrow into the ground to hide. However, since she ran right into him, there was no use in hiding anymore. In contrast to the raging storm inside Yi Wanwan, when Si Yihan saw Han Xianyu, he didn't react and merely glanced at the man. It was as though not a single person or thing could stir a ripple in him. Han Xianyu stared unwaveringly at Si Yihan, and he had to maximize his self-control before he could repress his fury and carefully utter, "Mr. C, isn't there something you would like to explain? What's going on with this woman?" Si Yihan expressionlessly asked, "Explain?" Fury engulfed Han Xianyu, and he emotionally interrogated Si Yihan, "You still want to deny it? You're lying to him, playing with his feelings, and seeing other women behind his back. Damn. Calm down, my little angel. It's not what you think. I am Yi Bai. I am Yi Bai himself." Yi Wanwan was in emotional turmoil, but she couldn't explain it to him. She felt like her head would really explode. Right now, her only joy was that Han Xianyu didn't recognize her. Simultaneously, what was the worst was that Han Xianyu didn't recognize her and thought she was some other woman. Even worse, Han Xianyu's string of aggressive inquiries caused Si Yihan's eyes to frost over bit by bit and dangerously narrow. As soon as Yi Wanwan saw Si Yihan's expression, she knew things were about to go to hell. Shit! Don't, baby. I'm already in enough of a mess, don't explode too. Yi Wanwan wanted to stop him, but it was too late. Si Yihan aloofly and disdainfully looked at the righteous and indignant man in front of him. His voice was extremely cold. That's right. I'm dating a woman, but what right and what status do you have to question me? Yi Wanwan covered her face and held her head. Shit, everything's done for. Han Xianyu had a face of disbelief. You're simply, he actually admitted it so boldly and didn't look apologetic or guilty at all. Bastard. As soon as Han Xianyu thought about what Yi Bai's face would look like when he learned of this and how devastated he would be, his repressed fury instantly exploded, and he swung a fist towards Si Yihan's face. When Yi Wanwan saw this, she turned pale with fright. Shit. Don't. You can hit me but don't hit my baby's face. Si Yihan was indifferent as he stood rooted in place with not even the tiniest frown. Upon seeing Han Xianyu's fist about to land on Si Yihan's face, how could Yi Wanwan tolerate it? She shot forward like lightning and blocked Han Xianyu's fist with one hand and securely protected Si Yihan behind her. Ajio, are you okay? Are you okay? Yi Wanwan anxiously patted Si Yihan's face and didn't relax until she saw that his skin wasn't even scratched. Si Yihan glanced down at Yi Wanwan, and his icy eyes warmed a few degrees when he saw her immensely anxious behavior. Han Xianyu was astonished that a dainty girl like her turned out to be so strong. His arm was tingling from her block. However, Han Xianyu didn't linger on this matter and coolly said, Miss, please move. Chapter 10:15. He naturally couldn't hit a woman, so he furiously looked at Si Yihan. What kind of man are you to hide behind a woman? Han Xianyu possessed a great sense of justice and couldn't permit any wrongdoings. It appeared he wouldn't give up easily today. Fei Yang helplessly watched as Han Xianyu caused a commotion and hastily ran over. He scrambled to put Han Xianyu's face mask back on and quietly pacified him like he was his ancestor. Damn! Xianyu, are you crazy? Quick, put it back on, put it back on. What if you get recognized? Thankfully, the pastry shop wasn't busy right now, so no one noticed the situation there. If this got any worse, news of Han Xianyu flies into a rage and publicly beats up his lover's paramour would become tomorrow's headlines. This commotion had already attracted the attention of the store clerk. If this continued, hell would break loose. By now, Fei Yang figured out what happened for the most part. Based on Han Xianyu and that man's conversation earlier, he realized he was mistaken. He thought Han Xianyu liked this girl, but it turned out this man's legitimate girlfriend was Xianyu's friend. Xianyu was defending the real girlfriend against this transgression. How complicated indeed. The paparazzi loved this type of thing the most. It didn't matter whether the real girlfriend was platonic friends with Han Xianyu. After the media spiced things up, they would surely turn it into some love triangle or something. In truth, even he was suspicious of Han Xianyu. Han Xianyu had always been very disciplined in his actions, so it was uncharacteristic for him to act so recklessly for a regular female friend. Brother Yang, move over. Han Xianyu was truly enraged this time. He was intently staring at Si Yihan as he angrily shouted, You wretched scum who cheated on his feelings. Didn't you ask what right I had earlier? Fine, let me tell you. He's my best friend and the most important person in my life. His business is my business. Since I found out about this, I absolutely won't stand by and do nothing. Han Xianyu was still cautious about Yi Bai's privacy, so he didn't mention his name at all. As soon as Han Xianyu finished speaking, Fei Yang was stunned. Shit! Most important person. Xianyu doesn't really have something going on with that legitimate girlfriend, right? Yi Wanwan had just stopped Han Xianyu and relaxed when she heard Han Xianyu's words. Her first reaction was that she felt moved. Han Xianyu truly treated her as his best brother and friend, but she had been concealing her identity from him the whole time. Yi Wanwan's second reaction was, I'm screwed. As expected, after hearing Han Xianyu's words, Si Yihan's relaxed expression instantly turned icy again, and his voice was rough and dangerous as he said, Ha, is that so? Most dangerous person. Since when did someone of mine become your most important person? Upon hearing that, Han Xianyu's anger reached its peak. Someone of yours? How do you have the nerve to say that after doing this to him? This man looked decent, but his character was so despicable. Yi Wanwan nearly went mad as she stood on the side. These two people were at odds and talking about two entirely different things, but they could still tear into each other. Are you for real? Bastard, don't tell me you want to two-time. Han Xianyu directly challenged Si Yihan in his rage. Si Yihan dryly glanced at him. So what if I do? You. Han Xianyu was completely infuriated and swung another punch at him, chaos erupting everywhere again. Damn. You too. Enough. That was the last straw for Yi Wanwan. She blocked Han Xianyu's attack again before intently staring at Han Xianyu. Freaking Han Xianyu, stop right there. It's me. Chapter 1016, 1016. Although Yi Wanwan still used a female voice to say that, her bright eyes and that familiar tone successfully made Han Xianyu stop. He was dumbstruck. This girl's eyes, and her tone of voice. Why? Why does she remind me of Yi Bai? But this is clearly a girl. I must be crazy. What did that girl mean just now though? Due to shock, Han Xianyu was frozen, and his mind was a bit muddled. Yi Wanwan angrily rubbed her temples. Enough already. Yi Wanwan first looked at Si Yihan. Ajio, I need to talk to Han Xianyu, don't give me that look. If we keep going on like this, I'll be tortured to death. Don't tell me you can bear seeing your little darling having a mental breakdown. Think about who I'm doing this for. Moreover, it was because of your extreme lack of cooperation that I got exposed. Si Yihan still looked displeased. Meanwhile, Han Xianyu and Fei Yang didn't understand her at all. Fine, fine. Be good. Just 10 minutes. I knew you wouldn't bear it. Yi Wanwan laid a kiss on Si Yihan's cheeks and lavished praise upon him. Si Yihan swept his eyes over Han Xianyu. A few seconds later, he finally turned to Yi Wanwan. I'll wait for you in the car. Sure, sure. Yi Wanwan bobbed her head. Although Han Xianyu didn't understand the situation, he knew the girl must have something important to say to him, so he told Fei Yang, Brother Yang, go and wait inside the car. Huh? Fei Yang had a dazed expression. How could he allow Han Xianyu to be by himself? He immediately shook his head in disagreement. No. What would I do if you act recklessly again after I leave? Yi Wanwan glanced at Fei Yang. Don't worry, I'll look after him. Oh, well, fine then, Fei Yang met the girl's gaze as he subconsciously replied. He was promptly startled. Weird, why did I inexplicably listen to her? He felt a mysterious sense of trust when he looked at this girl. Fei Yang said, then I'll go. You must remain calm no matter what happens, alright. Han Xianyu nodded. Understood. After Si Yihan and Fei Yang left, only Yi Wanwan and Han Xianyu remained at last. Yi Wanwan suggested to Han Xianyu, let's go and find a place to talk. Then she headed for the cafe across from them, and Han Xianyu automatically followed. Yi Wanwan led Han Xianyu into a quiet room. Sit, Yi Wanwan said. Han Xianyu absent-mindedly sat down across from her, and his suspicious gaze unwaveringly settled on Yi Wanwan. Yi Wanwan also sat down. Then she looked up and told Han Xianyu, Xianyu, it's me. I'm Yi Bai. Yi Wanwan was using a male voice. Han Xianyu, who had just sat down, instantly shot up. His face shifted drastically. I actually heard Yi Bai's voice from a girl. Although this was understandable from voice actors or people who knew how to voice change, it was still unimaginable for him. It was because the girl's tone of voice was extremely similar to Yi Bai's. As the matter stood, Yi Wanwan had no choice but to tell Han Xianyu the truth. Yi Wanwan assumed Yi Bai's voice and spoke again. I'm Yi Bai. Chapter 1017. When Han Xianyu heard that familiar voice coming out of the girl's mouth again, his mind turned blank. What, did you say? The girl in front of him was using Yi Bai's voice and claiming she was Yi Bai. Yi Wanwan pinched the space between her brows, and she used her female voice to explain, I'm very sorry, Xianyu. I've been hiding my identity from you all this time, as well as my sex. I'm not Yi Bai or a man, I'm a woman. Han Xianyu intently stared at the girl across from him. After an infinite amount of time passed, he finally regained his voice. Miss, what in the world are you saying? Yi Wanwan continued with a serious expression. I know this is hard to believe, but it's the truth. Ninth C didn't cheat on me or two-time. The person he likes has been me the whole time. I'm Yi Bai. The girl who you saw at the theater last time was also me. That time, he kissed me to cover for me since I was afraid you would recognize me after seeing me. You are Yi Bai. Han Xianyu clutched his head, which was in a state of utter chaos. Impossible, how could this be possible? When a person was suddenly told the beautiful girl in front of him was his good brother, he couldn't immediately accept it no matter how strong he was mentally. Yi Wanwan naturally understood this. When your brother suddenly turned into a girl, any sane person would be dumbfounded. Yi Wanwan thought for a moment and took out a picture from her purse. She pushed the picture toward Han Xianyu. This is your signed photo. I took it for you just this morning and didn't have a chance to give it to my friend yet. This is your personal signature, you should recognize it. Han Xianyu took the signed photo. It was indeed the photo Yi Bai took for him that morning. On top of this, I can prove to you I'm Yi Bai however you want me to, Yi Wanwan added. Han Xianyu's mind was a mess. He was unable to think how to prove she's Yi Bai. A moment later, Han Xianyu finally calmed down and looked at the girl across from him. Alright, then I'll ask you a few questions, Yi Wanwan nodded. Okay. Han Xianyu pondered over his words before saying, the first time we met. Yi Bai intruded on the board member meeting of Worldwide Entertainment without permission. Back then, no one believed me and all the top executives were ready to give me up, but he finally showed up. What did he promise? Yi Wanwan's expression didn't change at all. I promised I would get you justice within 7 days. The moment her words fell, shock flashed in Han Xianyu's eyes. Even now, only the top executives at Worldwide knew about this matter. Han Xianyu's expression shifted a few times, and he continued, after the meeting ended, in the lobby of Worldwide Entertainment, I told you regardless of your objective or reason for helping me, thank you for believing me. What did you say to me? Han Xianyu himself didn't realize that he shifted how he addressed this girl from he to you already. Yi Wanwan naturally remembered the incident, so she replied, I said, you're welcome. My friend is your fan and really likes you, me as well. Han Xianyu distinctly remembered every single word spoken by Yi Bai that day. And the words spoken by this girl in front of him were identical to the words spoken by Yi Bai that day. Chapter 1018, 1018, You. It was possible for someone else to know the words spoken by Yi Bai in the conference room that day, but only Yi Bai and Han Xianyu himself knew the second answer. Hence, the girl in front of him really was. Han Xianyu involuntarily started recollecting everything that happened since he met Yi Bai. Although Yi Bai was so good-looking, there was nothing feminine about his behavior and speech, so no one suspected he was a woman. On the contrary, many girls liked him. One time, he even heard Gong Su accidentally mentioning that Shen Manju pursued Yi Bai before. How could someone like that be a woman? However, when he carefully thought about it, there were clues and signs. For example, her interactions with Mr. C. From the first time they met Mr. C and he kissed Yi Bai to declare his ownership, Yi Bai nearly exposed himself a few times. However, he never considered that Yi Bai was a woman and merely believed Yi Bai was homosexual. But now, thinking back, it explained everything. However, no matter what, finding out that your good brother was actually a woman was still too big of a shock. Faced with this beautiful and mesmerizing girl wearing a gorgeous gown in front of him, Han Xianyu was suddenly at a loss for what to do and kept sputtering, without a clue about how to continue. Yi Wanwan quickly comforted him. Well, relax, relax. I'm still me. I merely changed gender. It's no big deal. Han Xianyu, it's no big deal. Han Xianyu was both exasperated and amused, but the girl's familiar voice did make him relax a lot. Why did you present yourself as a man? Han Xianyu asked. Yi Wanwan sighed. Well, I should talk it out with you to explain things to you properly. After all, we've known each other for so long, but I kept deceiving you as your friend, so I was in the wrong. Han Xianyu interjected, it's no big deal really. Everyone has their way of living, so it can't be considered deceit. Whether you're male or female doesn't affect our relationship at all. Upon hearing this, Yi Wanwan was incredibly moved. As expected, little angel Xianyu was understanding and reasonable. If this was Gong Su instead, he would make a fuss about it for at least 3 whole days. Yi Wanwan continued, anyway, I chose to dress as a man back then partially to make conducting business easier. As you know, girls are at a disadvantage in this industry, and everything is more troublesome. Han Xianyu absent-mindedly looked at Yi Wanwan's appearance in female clothes and understood. It was truly inconvenient to conduct business for girls, especially pretty girls. As for the other reason, Yi Wanwan paused briefly before saying, to tell you the truth, my partner gets jealous easily, so he vehemently disapproved of me picking this as my career. I had to wring my mind dry to come up with this solution. Han Xianyu, in his opinion, being able to brew up this solution did require very unique thinking. Han Xianyu thought about it and asked, does anyone else in the company know you're female? Yi Wanwan nodded. Yes, Felix knows. Felix? Upon hearing this, Han Xianyu was surprised. He would have thought Luo Chen knew. After all, Yi Bai had known Luo Chen the longest, whereas Felix was someone she poached to dazzling media. Yi Wanwan explained, that's right. Because Felix is my brother, my biological older brother. Chapter 1019. When Han Xianyu heard that, he was even more surprised. Felix is your real brother? Then, you are, Yi Mufan smiled. Let me reintroduce myself. My surname is Yi, and my full name is Yi Wanwan. I'm Yi Mufan's younger sister. Han Xianyu was surprised, but this turn of events was also logical. No wonder Yi Mufan and she started a company together. He didn't expect her to be the Yi family's princess. The entertainment industry did get whispers of rumors about that daughter of the Yi family. They all reported how she was absurd and troublesome, ignorant and incompetent. Some people also said she was incomparably ugly, and her fiancé couldn't endure it anymore, so he broke off their engagement. It appeared, rumors really couldn't be trusted. Yi Wanwan picked up her lemon water and drank it in one gulp to soothe her tumultuous mind. Sigh. Thank goodness it was you I ran into today. If it was Gong Su, I would really be dead meat. Han Xianyu could sense that Yi Wanwan's words had a hidden meaning and couldn't help asking, what about Gong Su? Yi Wanwan raised her eyebrows. Aren't you curious about how I made Gong Su listen to me back then? Han Xianyu answered, I'm very curious indeed. However, he would never ask. Of course, he wasn't the only one in the industry who was curious about this. Back then, Gong Su was still an artist under Zhou Wenbin and even suppressed Luo Chen in all manners at Zhou Wenbin's urging, but he suddenly jumped ships and joined Yi Bai. Yi Wanwan supported her chin and lightly coughed before saying, well, in truth, little candied plum, who Gong Su has been searching for everywhere, is. Realization instantly dawned on Han Xianyu, and he asked, could she be you? Yi Wanwan shrugged. That's right, it's me, Han Xianyu. He was suddenly at a loss for words. Yi Wanwan said, running into Gong Su was a complete accident. I didn't expect Gong Su to search for me everywhere either. Back then, I happened to be fighting with Zhou Wenbin, and he couldn't defeat me without tricks, so he used Gong Su to beat me down and wanted to steal Luo Chen's role. Since Zhou Wenbin decided to be underhanded and that punk, Gong Su, was also unreasonable and tyrannical, they can't blame me for using unusual strategies, right? So, I decisively went to find Gong Su with my photo in tow and told him that as long as he was obedient, I would tell him little Candied Plum's whereabouts. Han Xianyu didn't know whether to cry or laugh after hearing that. He never expected this to be the truth. Later, after I interacted with Gong Su, I realized his personality wasn't that bad. It was just that he lacked guidance, so he was led astray, Yi Wanwan continued. Then do you plan on continuing to dress as a man? Han Xianyu asked. There's nothing wrong with dressing as a man since it's quite convenient. However, there's still Gong Su and Luo Chen. We're all so close after all, so it's not good to keep hiding it from them, so I'll find the right opportunity to tell them later. But it's a critical period right now, so I can't distract them for the time being. She also had to wait until Gong Su became more mature to avoid her jealous lover drowning Gong Su in jealousy. Yi Wanwan still had lingering fears. Xianyu, I'm glad you're more mature and calmer than those two children, which is why I dared to tell you the truth today. Otherwise, it would really be the end for me. When Han Xianyu heard that, he glanced at her bright face and dazzling eyes and revealed a helpless expression. Actually, I'm really not as calm as you think. Yi Wanwan placed her palms together. Sorry for startling you. Chapter 1020. 1020. Sorry, I really didn't do it on purpose. I also scared myself to death today, Yi Wanwan said miserably. She really didn't expect Han Xianyu to get so angry that he would start fighting with Si Yihan at a shopping center. As Yi Wanwan said that, a message tone rang out from her phone. Unsurprisingly, the sender was Si Yihan. He was reminding her that she was 1 minute overtime. Upon seeing that, Han Xianyu glanced at Yi Wanwan's gown and quickly said, You must have plans tonight, right? Go take care of it. Yeah, I'm really busy today. We'll talk another time. Yi Wanwan said apologetically. Don't worry about it. Go. Han Xianyu stood up and went to pay the bill. Put on your mask and sunglasses properly, Yi Wanwan reminded him. Han Xianyu answered, okay. Yi Wanwan added, right, if Brother Yang asks, you can tell him. When Han Xianyu heard that, he made a casual noise in response. When Han Xianyu went to pay at the counter, the young, short-haired girl peered at Han Xianyu several times. It's done. Take care. We look forward to your next visit. What Yi Wanwan and Han Xianyu didn't know was that the short-haired cashier dug out her phone and secretly took a picture of their backs as soon as they turned to leave. Xiaoqin, why are you taking a photo of them? A waitress walked over and asked when she saw that. The short-haired cashier was over the moon as she cried, Ah! Oh my God! You absolutely won't believe what I saw just now. What did you see to make you so excited? The waitress asked curiously. Han Xianyu. Han Xianyu and a woman are shopping together, the cashier named Xiaoqin answered, incessantly excited. The waitress knew Xiaoqin was Han Xianyu's crazy fan, so she found it funny when she heard the cashier. Han Xianyu. I think you've gone mad from thinking about Han Xianyu. How can you claim some stranger you met to be Han Xianyu? Although their shopping center was high class and often had celebrities visiting, you couldn't claim someone was Han Xianyu simply because they wore sunglasses and a mask. Xiaoqin hurriedly asserted, Hey, today's entertainment news revealed Han Xianyu's whereabouts and said he was shooting at Imperial Films. There were several photos that showed him wearing this outfit when he left after shooting. Also, did you notice his sleeves in my photo? There was a tiny feather embroidered on them. This jacket was given to him by a fan. There's no mistaking it. As she said that, she dug out the photos from the article to show the waitress. When the waitress heard Xiaoqin's logical reasoning and saw the two photos in comparison, she was shocked as well. Is this true? It couldn't really have been Han Xianyu, right? Ever since Han Xianyu was stabbed in the back by his girlfriend last time who slandered him as a pedophile, there haven't been any rumors about his love life, let alone any scandals. Could it be that he has a new romance? Damn 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 damn. Xiaoqin had a face of despair. No. If that's true, then this love rival is too strong. Let me tell you, that girl just now was really gorgeous. A pity that I couldn't get a shot of her face. I just know her face wasn't very familiar, so she probably wasn't from the industry. The waitress clapped her on the shoulders and comforted her. Maybe you saw wrong. There's no way I'd mistake someone else for my idol, okay? Wait, let me send this photo to the group and show other people. Xiaoqin had a social group for Han Xianyu's fans. She hurriedly posted the photo into the group for authentication. After the people in the group heard Xiaoqin's story, tears flew everywhere, and some people even uploaded the photo onto Weibo. Chapter 1021. What Yuan Wan and Han Xianyu didn't know yet was that they were photographed by fans. After parting ways, they went back to their respective cars. As soon as Han Xianyu returned, Fei Yang anxiously asked, "Xianyu, you're back. What did you talk about? Are you alright, are you alright?" Han Xianyu pinched his brows. "I'm fine. I'm probably fine, right?" "Really? Then what's with your expression? You don't look so calm." Fei Yang carefully observed Han Xianyu's expression. Han Xianyu looked at Fei Yang and was about to speak but ended up not saying anything. Part of it was because his emotions were still in turmoil, so he didn't have the energy to explain everything to Fei Yang. Another part of it was that as soon as he realized he was the first one, as well as the only one, to know about Yi Bai's identity besides Yi Mufan, he didn't want to tell other people for some reason. Han Xianyu glanced in the direction of Yi Wanwan's car before saying, "I'm fine. Let's go." On the other side, Yi Wanwan had returned to her car as well. Well, she was 5 minutes late and the temperature inside the car was already nearly frozen at -5 degrees Celsius. As soon as Su Yi saw Yi Wanwan, he breathed a sigh of relief. "Cough, Miss Wanwan, you're back. Can we leave now?" When the incident happened earlier, although Su Yi didn't interfere, he was nearby and saw the whole thing. In truth, he sympathized with Han Xianyu quite a bit. He reckoned Han Xianyu was rather shocked. Yeah, we can. Let's go." Yi Wanwan spoke up. Si Yihan glanced at her. Finish talking. We finished. I explained everything. There won't be any problems for sure. Yi Wanwan hurriedly said. When Si Yihan heard Yi Wanwan's guarantee, "There won't be any problems for sure," it didn't look like he believed it at all. Si Yihan casually asked, "What did you talk about?" Yi Wanwan, what? Is it something you can't tell me?" Si Yihan narrowed his eyes. Yi Wanwan promptly started coughing. Cough, no, of course I can. Her conversations were very open and honorable, all right. To prove her innocence, Yi Wanwan quickly disclosed the truth. "I merely explained my gender to Han Xianyu. He didn't believe it at first, so he asked me questions, like what I said to him the first time we met." Si Yihan propped his head to the side and calmly asked, "Oh, what did you say?" "You know what happened the day I went. Global held a meeting, so I said I had a way to prove his innocence in 7 days and negotiated with the senior management of Global for a while. When I left afterward and was in the lobby, he caught up and asked why I was helping him. I replied that my friend was his fan and really liked him, me as well." Yi Wanwan suddenly broke off and discovered something amiss. Fuck. If I finished my sentence, I would have been screwed. I was actually tricked by the great devil without knowing. Currently, Si Yihan was still watching her with his dark-as-the-night eyes, silently waiting for her to finish her sentence. However, how could she say it? Her pacifying career appeared to have encountered a great danger. Yi Wanwan harshly swallowed before continuing, "I absolutely couldn't stand by and do nothing for the sake of fairness and justice, responsibility and morality." Si Yihan. Chapter 1022. 1022. Yi Wanwan's twist of words was an absolute brush with death. Thankfully, she managed to bluff her way out, and Si Yihan didn't probe further and accepted her performance. Truly too perilous. Although Si Yihan had low EQ, he had high IQ, so she was nearly tricked. Yi Wanwan secretly reminded herself to be more careful the next time she spoke. Imperial City's Sandalwood Hotel. Sandalwood Hotel was a 6-star luxurious hotel which had a vintage Chinese style located in the east end of Parkson Street. It was a commonly frequented location for banquet guests from prestigious and affluent families, as well as higher-up government officials. In order to hold a welcoming reception for Mu Suifeng, the Si family, as the host, arranged a private, small-scale banquet. Tonight, Qin Ruoxi was wearing a long, light purple limited edition couture gown from Grace and wore her hair in an updo, looking graceful and elegant. She was currently skillfully and easily conversing with the guests inside the banquet hall. Feng Qinyu, wearing a little cute and charming lace gown, walked toward Qin Ruoxi and affectionately grabbed Qin Ruoxi's hand. "Sister Ruoxi, you're so pretty tonight." Qin Ruoxi smiled faintly. "Didn't you say you weren't coming tonight?" Feng Qinyu harumphed. "I originally wasn't going to come since I didn't want to see that vixen's face. How could that lowly woman attend this banquet with the patriarch instead of you? Allowing a woman like her to attend with the patriarch and receive Mr. Mu is too rude. I have no idea what the patriarch was thinking." "Oh, enough. I know you're going to scold me for speaking out of turn again, but I really can't stand her act. Only someone as mild-tempered as you would be able to tolerate her until now, Sister Ruoxi." As Feng Qinyu said that, a commotion was heard from the entrance of the banquet hall as Si Yihan and Yi Wanwan entered. Yi Wanwan was wearing a gorgeous gown, but her gown didn't detract from her at all and was nothing but a prop. The moment she entered, it was as though she had stolen all the stars from the sky. Standing next to Si Yihan didn't diminish her brilliance in the slightest. Yi Wanwan was dressed delicately and beautifully today. Standing next to Si Yihan, she looked cute and helpless. She didn't move a centimeter away from him, she was extremely well behaved. Whispers erupted in the banquet hall. "Oh my God! The patriarch actually showed up with a female companion today. And that female companion isn't Miss Qin. It looks like Miss Yi is favored since the patriarch was willing to bring her to attend even these events. It's no wonder, really. That sweet and dainty appearance, no man could withstand it. A little pillow talk and Miss Qin wouldn't compare no matter what she did. It proves that men still prefer more delicate women." A little later, Mu Suifeng arrived. Si Yihan walked to the entrance to receive him with Yi Wanwan in tow. "Mr. Mu." Mu Suifeng looked about 40 to 50 years old. He was wearing a tang suit and had a scholarly and friendly appearance. "Chairman Si, sorry, I'm late." As Mu Suifeng said that, his gaze landed on the girl next to Si Yihan. "Chairman Si, this is my girlfriend, Yi Wanwan," Si Yihan introduced her. "Hello, Mr. Mu." Yi Wanwan greeted him as she stood next to Si Yihan docilely. "Hello, Miss Yi. You two are a handsome couple indeed." Mu Suifeng teased them. No wonder Chairman Si was in such a hurry to come back when he was in Country M. "Please excuse us for that. For you young people, one day apart seems like 3 years. I understand. Chapter 1023 When Feng Qinyu saw Yi Wanwan standing next to Si Yihan like the mistress of the Si family, she angrily stomped her feet. "Sister Ruoxi, look at how cocky she is. Mr. Mu is merely making polite conversation with her out of consideration for the patriarch, but who does she think she is?" Qin Ruoxi looked at the girl next to Si Yihan. The spot that should belong to her. Her eyes glinted. "Ruoxi." Suddenly, a girl's voice came from behind Qin Ruoxi. "Xuezhen, why are you here?" Qin Ruoxi passionately asked when she saw the newcomer. In contrast to the extravagant gowns worn by all the female guests, Sun Xuezhen was unconventionally wearing a clean outfit of black workout clothes. However, no one inside the banquet hall expressed any criticism about it. The Sun family was a famous martial arts patrician family of China. China emphasized the promotion of traditional martial arts, and the Sun family made several appearances on television. Sun Xuezhens. Chapter 1024. 1024. After Sun Xuezhen left, Qin Ruoxi walked over to greet Mu Suifeng. Mr. Mu. Miss Qin, long time no see. When Mu Qingfeng saw Qin Ruoxi, his attitude was obviously a lot more familiar and different from the impersonal cordiality he used for Yuan. Did you enjoy the tea I brought you last time? I got some more a while ago, let me send you some. Miss Qin, you're too polite. I feel sorry for mooching tea from you all the time. It's nothing. Are there any places you would like to visit this time, Mr. Mu? Qin Ruoxi inquired. Mu Suifeng appeared somewhat disinterested as he said, no need to trouble you. There isn't really any place I'd like to go. Upon hearing this, Qin Ruoxi suggested, the National Martial Arts Friendly Competition will be held in Imperial City in a few days. Would Mr. Mu be interested? Although Mu Suifeng was a businessman, he didn't like antiques, calligraphy or paintings. However, he was solely interested in martial arts, so in order to adapt to his taste, Qin Ruoxi gave him her prepared excuse. Mu Suifeng sighed and said, I originally wanted to go, but this competition gets worse each year. Instead of being called a wrestling match, it should be called a performance match instead, with all its superficial displays. I really don't have any interest in watching it. Qin Ruoxi thought about it and expressed her understanding. A competition at that level wouldn't meet your standards indeed, Mr. Mu. Thankfully, she had a plan B. Hence, Qin Ruoxi continued to say, since Mr. Mu isn't interested in that kind of performance match, what about a martial arts conference? Mu Suifeng probed, martial arts conference? That's right. Mr. Mu, do you know Mr. Sun Lishong? Qin Ruoxi asked. Mu Suifeng promptly replied, the current head of the famous martial arts patrician family of China, the Sun family? Of course I know him. What, do you know him? Qin Ruoxi said, Uncle Sun is a long-time friend of my family, so I know him. Uncle Sun just invited a Muay Thai expert from overseas to stay with our family. Uncle Sun has some plans to hold a martial arts conference and invite some experts from China to compare notes with that Muay Thai expert. Upon hearing this, Mu Suifeng's eyes glinted. Who is this Muay Thai expert you speak of? It's the champion of the last MMA championship, Seni. Qin Ruoxi answered. Upon hearing this, even Yuan raised her brows and she looked at Qin Ruoxi with interest. Wolf King Seni? Yuan reflexively asked. Qin Ruoxi nodded and said, that's right, that's him. You've also heard of him, monsieur? Yuan replied, I watched his matches. Ever since Yuan discovered her talents in martial arts, she learned a lot of information related to it and occasionally watched some matches. MMA stood for mixed martial arts and was a full combat sport with fairly loose rules. A match allowed the fighters to use a large variety of disciplines like boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, wrestling, karate, judo, sanda, jeet kune do, etc. It treated all disciplines equally, and practitioners from different disciplines could fight in the same arena. To put it simply, a fight wasn't separated by the different styles of fighting. You could use any fighting technique as long as you could defeat your opponent. In this kind of competition, Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighters dominated and won the most matches. In the wrestling world, there was a saying, one would rather see the king of Yama than the king of Muay Thai. Seni was a world-famous Muay Thai fighter and obtained the title, Wolf King, due to his ferocious style and vicious techniques. Chapter 1025. Seni was publicly recognized as the most talented champion of Muay Thai by Chinese wrestling fans and was a role model for many wrestling enthusiasts. Many Chinese people had been hoping for him to come to China to hold a Chinese-Thai battle and compete with practitioners of traditional Chinese martial arts. Seni is a top example of a Muay Thai fighter indeed, and Mr. Sun is also a master of martial arts in China, so I've always wanted to see a competition between top-notch Muay Thai and our traditional Chinese martial arts. Mu Suifeng said with excitement in his voice, evidently thrilled by Qin Ruoxi's suggestion. Upon hearing his expected response, Qin Ruoxi revealed a confident expression and looked at Si Yihan. She gently said, Chairman Si, since Mr. Mu is also interested, how about the Qin family, Sun family, and Si family each choose a representative who will lead 5 experts and hold the martial arts conference? Mu Suifeng immediately clapped and said, that's a great idea. Si Yihan saw that Mu Suifeng was very interested, so he naturally wouldn't reject it in order to show how much he valued his guest. We can. I'll send someone to arrange it. Qin Ruoxi swept her eyes over Yi Wanwan before saying, I'll be the representative of the Qin family myself and choose 5 experts. As for the Si family, how about you have Miss Yi be the representative, Chairman Si? When Yi Wanwan, who had been obediently standing next to Si Yihan, was named, she subconsciously raised her eyebrows. Would Qin Ruoxi actually be so nice to give her a chance to be in the limelight? It couldn't be that simple, right? Tut tut, there would be advanced-level experts at the conference. She really wanted to go and have fun. Yi Wanwan instantly lit up like a light bulb and shot towards Si Yihan, radiating her desire. Let me go. Let me go. Let me go. When Mu Suifeng heard this, he glanced at Yi Wanwan with surprise. Oh. Could it be that Miss Yi also knows martial arts and wrestling? I really can't see it. Qin Ruoxi replied with a smile, Miss Yi is very skilled. I personally witnessed a lot of the formidable guards of the Si family being defeated by her. She was naturally praising Yi Wanwan to such heights on purpose so that she had to go even if she didn't want to go. Then I'm really looking forward to it. Mu Suifeng stated with a chuckle. However, there obviously wasn't sincerity in his words, and he was merely being polite. Chairman Si, what do you think? Qin Ruoxi asked. As though she was afraid Si Yihan would decline to protect Yi Wanwan, Qin Ruoxi added, the representative doesn't need to fight. She merely needs to lead the team and give some pointers, so she won't be in any danger. Don't worry, Chairman Si. If they proceeded with the conference, not only would she win Mr. Mu's favor, but the Sun family would also owe her a favor. More importantly, she could make Yi Wanwan make a big fool of herself and demolish the reputation she had just built up. Qin Ruoxi suppressed her emotions and waited for Si Yihan's answer. Currently, half of Si Yihan was nearly set on fire by Yi Wanwan's fervid gaze. The corners of Si Yihan's lips twitched imperceptibly, and he looked at Yi Wanwan. You want to go? Yi Wanwan was naturally more than happy to go and bobbed her head frantically. Yes. Si Yihan, she was so enthusiastic as soon as she heard there was going to be fighting involved. Chapter 1026. 1026 Since Yi Wanwan agreed as well, the matter was settled. Considering how skilled you are, you wouldn't encounter any problems even if you fought, Miss Yi. Qin Ruoxi said with a dignified and graceful smile. Since everyone is fine with it, I will contact Uncle Sun. Mu Suifeng answered, great. Then I'll wait for your news, Miss Qin. After the end of the banquet, on the way home, Yi Wanwan was afraid of Si Yihan going back on his word, so she solemnly guaranteed, my dear, the representative is only in charge of leading the team and guiding them and doesn't need to fight. I'm only going to take a look and see the world. I promise. Wolf King Seni and the Sun family alone were enough to pique her interest. She also heard that the daughter of the Sun family, Sun Xuezhen, was also very formidable, so she wanted to meet her too. Si Yihan glanced at her and resigned himself to fate regarding her vow, treating it like empty words. 11 and Feng Shuani are both on missions and are abroad right now. Su Yi will pick other people out for you, Si Yihan said. Su Yi, who was driving in the front, promptly answered, we recently recruited a new group of people who are quite decent. I'll pick a few people out tomorrow. Yi Wanwan, thanks for the trouble, Steward Su. Si Yihan glanced at her with worry. I don't care about winning or losing as long as you don't cause trouble. This martial arts conference was merely being held to allow Yi Wanwan to watch and have fun, as well as to curry Mu Suifeng's favor while they were at it. Yi Wanwan pouted and grumbled, I know. Ajo, I feel like you have a deep misunderstanding about me. That's no good. I'm obviously so obedient, and I'm also very cowardly, alright? I won't recklessly cause trouble, Si Yihan, Su Yi, no one has a misunderstanding about you, okay? Cowardly. You're only cowardly in front of one person, alright. Little House of Rose, Tang Tang baby, Mommy's home. Yi Wanwan kicked off her high heels and swiftly dashed inside the living room. As soon as she entered the room, she spotted an enormous furry figure lying on the rug in front of the sofa with a fair and delicate child sleeping soundly, cuddling against him. Great White's tail flicked every now and then, gently patting the little fella like he was soothing him to sleep. When Yi Wanwan saw this, she quickly lowered her volume and entered gently. Great White, thank you for taking care of Tang Tang. I love you the most. Great White lazily opened his eyes when he heard her footsteps before quickly closing them again. His light blue eyes clearly revealed a trace of contempt, as though they were saying, you went out to have fun for so long, only coming back now, making a tiger watch your kid for you. What kind of parent are you? When Si Yihan stepped inside and saw the child laying on the giant white tiger, his expression abruptly softened. Yi Wanwan carefully walked to Tang Tang and picked him up, placing a kiss on his little cheeks. Baby, let's go sleep on the bed. The child opened a sliver of his sleepy, misty eyes, which resembled the Milky Way and reflected Yi Wanwan's gentle face. Mommy, yes, Mommy's back. Yi Wanwan lightly said. The child foggily looked up at her face and mumbled in his sleep, Mommy, so pretty. Yi Wanwan was instantly shot and clutched her chest. Ah! What should I do? How can my son be so adorable even when he's talking in his sleep? Si Yihan watching nearby, my son. She's really saying it with more and more ease. Chapter 1027 Early morning, in the forest. It was the weekend, so Yi Wanwan went on a morning run and did some stamina training like usual. Ever since Si Yihan made her start training, she made sure she trained for at least 2 hours every day. It was difficult in the beginning but it later turned into a habit. She would feel out of sorts any day she didn't exercise. As time went on, the sluggish feeling that her body had from prolonged lack of exercise eased quite a bit. Some distance away from the little forest, the 5-man mercenary group was whispering covertly. Heidi had a face of regret. Sigh, it's been so long, but Master does nothing but the most basic stamina training every day and hasn't done any martial arts moves at all. I was planning on secretly learning a few moves. Tang Bin's face looked full of worship. No wonder Master is Master, she's truly as extraordinary as expected. Jiao Jiao eagerly asked, say, just how strong is Master's martial strength? Song Chang rubbed his chin. That's really hard to say. Either way, she's really amazing. Old Jiang spoke after a moment of thinking. Master's circumstances are really strange. For someone who frequently practices martial arts, you can normally easily see it in their behavior and actions since habits are ingrained. However, Master doesn't reveal any traces of her training at all and looks like a perfectly normal person. After Yi Wanwan finished running and saw the 5 of them huddled together, she suspiciously looked at them. Why are you guys kneeling there? Master, the 5 people simultaneously greeted her. The fatty rubbed his hands together with a grin. Master, actually, we wanted to secretly steal some moves from you. Steal some moves? Yi Wanwan repeated with raised brows. The fatty had flattery plastered all over his face. Yes. Master, your martial arts must be really strong, right? If we could learn even a few moves, we would gain a lot. Upon hearing this, Yi Wanwan was stunned and didn't know how to answer. The reason she was able to teach 11, Feng Shuani, and the others was solely due to her proficiency in disassembling other people's moves and seeing through their weaknesses, but she personally didn't know any techniques or moves nor had she learned from any discipline. The coaches her father hired taught her Sanda and Taekwondo. Sanda was the most common wrestling technique in China but there wasn't anything special about it, and Taekwondo shouldn't even be mentioned. Taekwondo could intimidate ignorant people, but it was publicly recognized in the martial arts world to feature pretty yet useless moves. These two martial arts styles obviously didn't fit Black Widow's mysterious and vicious character. What should she do? She didn't know anything else and couldn't make up a discipline or moves out of thin air. Yu Wanwan's eyes shifted as she thought hard about it before she lightly coughed and said in a deadpan manner, "What moves? What techniques? They're all too inferior. The most superior martial arts should abandon its sequences and forms that are distinctive in traditional martial arts. After all, anything could happen in a real battle, and mechanical and inflexible sequences can't handle that. There aren't any undefeatable martial arts moves in the world, only undefeatable people. I'm shapeless as my shape, use formless as my form, use methodless as my method, and use limitless as my limit. This is my approach." The 5 people were completely absorbed as they listened to her and nodded in a frenzy. They were amazed. "Thank you for your teaching, Master." "Master, what you said was too good. Listening to a gentleman speak is better than studying for 10 years from books. You're truly worthy of being the master, you're awesome." The corners of Yu Wanwan's lips twitched when she saw their amazed expressions. She realized her duping skills were becoming more and more impressive. Chapter 1028. She spewed so much nonsense, but everything could be summarized into, "I don't know anything, so I'm simply training blindly." Yet, Yu Wanwan was able to fabricate such a mystical story and pretend to be so awesome. She almost couldn't resist cheering for herself. Yu Wanwan lightly coughed and ended this topic. "Cough, cough, enough, enough. Let's end this here." She already exaggerated to this extent, and she couldn't continue any further. "I'll be pretty busy in the near future, and I won't be home tomorrow, so this home will require more attention from you. Watch over little master," Yu Wanwan ordered. Although Si Yihan said Si Mingli had fled the country and wouldn't show up anymore, she still wanted to be cautious. Yes, as soon as the 5-man group heard this, they instantly wilted, but they didn't dare to tattle. As soon as Master was too busy to come home, a nightmare would descend upon them, and they would be trained again. "Ah, right, is my swing finished yet?" Yu Wanwan eagerly asked. Heidi scratched her head and reluctantly said, "It's finished, then quickly bring me there," Yu Wanwan promptly urged. Heidi had no choice but to bring Yu Wanwan deep into the forest, where there was a sturdy swing constructed between 2 tall, solid trees. However, what differentiated this swing from normal swings was that this swing was very, very long. When it started swinging, it could fly halfway to the sky at least. Master, you sure you want to ride this thing?" Heidi's lips twitched. Yu Wanwan examined it and saw that it was made according to her design. It was very sturdy with safety belts, and the seats were made with soft leather while the ropes were decorated with flowers. It was obviously constructed carefully. Yu Wanwan nodded with satisfaction. "I do. Look at how awesome this is. The only thing is that I feel it won't swing high enough." Forget it, this is fine. Heidi, test it out." Me?" Heidi fearfully pointed at her face. "PFTTT, Tang Bin snorted. "Of course it has to be you who tests whether it's sturdy or not. You're the heaviest." "But I'm scared of heights." Heidi grew more terrified. "How come you aren't able to conquer such a tiny fear for Master's sake?" Tang Bin and Song Chang met each other's eyes before teaming up and pushing Heidi into it. Better him than them. A moment later, Heidi's school-like howl could be heard from the forest. Yu Wanwan tilted her head up to watch. "Not bad, very sturdy. I'll call Tang Tang to come and play." After another glance at the fatty flying in the air, Yu Wanwan happily skipped away. The 5-member mercenary group, Master is so awesome. Even her swing is different from normal people's, it swings until it flies. Tang Tang. Tang Tang. What are you doing? Yu Wanwan ran inside the house to search for him. "Mommy, Tang Tang is reading, the child said as he looked up from his book. Yuan Wan quickly went over and tugged on the child's hand. Ah, don't read books. What's fun about books? Quick, come. Mommy will take you out to play. I haven't finished it yet though. Tang Tang was somewhat hesitant. Didn't parents like good children who worked hard and read books? He must be more obedient and inclined to learning. No, no more reading. You've read for half an hour already. Children should have fun and play lots. Why are you reading? Yuan Wan dragged the child toward the forest without further ado. Baby, look at this. Yuan Wan pointed at the supergiant swing. Mommy, what's this? The child suspiciously asked and tilted his head to the side. Chapter 1029 Yuan Wan happily said, this is a swing, a super-duper awesome swing that you can swing until you fly. Come on, let's ride it together and try it out. When the little fella heard this, his fair and delicate face instantly brightened. Yuan Wan dragged him over, and he carefully sat on it. Yuan Wan fastened the safety belt and told Heidi and the others, okay, you can push now. Push us higher. Heidi was currently puking on the side, so Tang Bin and Song Chang quickly made a compliant sound in response and ran over. Tang Bin, yes, master. Song Chang, okay, master. Master is really playful. Yuan Wan then ordered Jiao, remember to take photos for me. Yes, master. Jiao is ready. Jiao hurriedly took out her phone. Meanwhile, old Jiang was standing on the side on alert so he could stop the swing in time if the child got scared. He had never seen someone care for a child like this. 3, 2, 1, go. Tang Bin and Song Chang pulled the swing back together then fiercely released it. The mother and son on the swing instantly soared into the sky. Trees, birds, and flowers all swooshed past them like the wind. So happy. Tang Tang, are you scared? Tang Tang hugged his mother and fiercely shook his head. His eyes were wide open as he watched the forest then the lake in the distance when they reached the peak. There was a radiance on his face that had never been seen before. Do you like it then? I like it. Ha! As expected, a mother knows her son best. I knew you would like it. Yuan Wan was currently going wild with her son. When Si Yihan, who was taking care of business inside the study, heard Yuan Wan's jubilant cries from outside the window, he suspiciously walked over to the window and opened it. And then, he saw a scene that turned his face dark and rendered him speechless. Yuan Wan and Tang Tang were sitting on a giant swing and swinging back and forth in the air. Si Yihan had no idea what expression he should make, and it took him a while before he realized what he was seeing. Several minutes later, Yuan Wan and her son were obediently standing next to each other, their heads lowered and their tails tucked. Si Yihan sat on the sofa, his face dark like the bottom of a pan. Explain. Yuan Wan's head remained downcast as her index fingers prodded each other and she quietly mumbled, I saw on TV that tourist spots in tropical rainforests had this kind of swing and felt it would be fun and Tang Tang would like it for sure, so I replicated it at home. I tested it first. It's very sturdy, even Heidi didn't break it after riding it, and it has safety belts. I was just afraid that Tang Tang would be bored. Tang Tang really liked it. Si Yihan felt his head aching as he rubbed the spot between his brows. Was it Tang Tang who wanted to play with it or was it her who wanted to play with it? Tang Tang, you liked it, right? Yuan Wan asked as she quickly pulled her son into it. Dear Tang Tang cooperatively took the blame for his mom. Daddy, it's Tang Tang who liked it. Yuan Wan hurriedly said, see? I didn't lie to you. Si Yihan looked at how the mother and son were each wearing a pitiful and miserable expression and simply had no idea what to say. Don't play with that one. Yuan Wan instantly looked dejected like a frosted eggplant while Tang Tang resembled a mini frosted eggplant. Si Yihan. Wait until I hire a professional to remake it for you. The two eggplants' heads shot up and brilliant beams spread across their faces. Their actions and expressions were identical. Yi Wanwan, Ajo, I knew you were the best. Tang Tang, thank you, Daddy. Si Yihan, who inexplicably compromised and aided the wrongdoers in their misbehavior. Chapter 1030. After playing with the swing, Yi Wanwan didn't idle and led Tang Tang and Great White all over the wilderness, picking mushrooms and fruits and digging for bird eggs. Afraid she would stir up more trouble, Si Yihan accompanied them the whole time. When they returned in the evening, the 3 people and 1 white tiger were covered in grass and leaves. Yi Wanwan had Si Yihan take Tang Tang to shower and change while she took out her phone to take photos of the day's bounty. While she was happily taking photos, several news notifications popped up on her screen. A martial arts expert shockingly appeared in all the major outdoor obstacle course game shows. What? Martial arts expert. It couldn't be. Yi Wanwan clicked it and saw written in the news article, a Superman appeared in various international outdoor obstacle course reality television shows, including The Merry Dash, The Amazing Race, Charge On, Heroes, and so on, breaking all their previous records and setting an unsurpassable record. The discussion below the article was composed of, damn. So fearsome. He only took 11 minutes to pass Country M's The Amazing Race. Is he human? Fuck me. He made it look like the entire ground was level and he ran the whole way there, okay? This is total annihilation. How can other people play now? They're from completely different worlds. I seriously suspect that this is some retired Special Forces soldier. He couldn't be this formidable otherwise. To the netizen above me, are you joking? What kind of people are Special Forces soldiers? You think they would participate in some childish outdoor competition game show? Dark clouds covered Yi Wanwan's face as she read this. Nameless Nya, that idiot. Enough already. What was the difference between this and robbery? Her heart ached for the show's crew. At that moment, the doorbell rang and old Jiang went to open the door. Old Jiang returned and asked, Master, you bought appliances. Huh? What appliances? I didn't buy any. Yi Wanwan was confused. Old Jiang was perplexed. Then Mr. C bought it. There's someone outside delivering a fridge, TV, and air conditioner, huh? Ajo probably didn't buy them. Why would he buy these things for no reason? Yi Wanwan walked to the front door distrustfully and saw a delivery man moving several appliances to the front door. I didn't buy these things. Do you have the wrong house? Yi Wanwan asked the delivery man. The young delivery man took out the invoice and looked. It wasn't you. A client surnamed Nye sent these here. Surnamed Nye. Yi Wanwan's eyebrows raised. Could it be nameless Nye? However, why did that guy send these things here? While suspicion rolled over her, her WeChat notification rang. Nye Hollow Pit, sister. Sister. Did you receive the fridge, TV, and air conditioner yet? It really was that guy. Yi Wanwan responded, Famous Yi, you sent these here. Why? Nye Hollow Pit, these are the prizes I won. Gloating. JPG, Yi Wanwan was speechless when she saw the proud and gloating emoji nameless Nye sent her. Now she remembered that the prizes of these shows included not only cash but also many sponsored prizes like appliances and houseware. Miss, what about these things? The delivery guy at the door asked. Oh, yeah. These were meant for me. After Yi Wanwan said that, she picked up the invoice and signed it before having old Jiang and the others carry the things inside. Yi Wanwan glanced at the prizes and shook her head in amusement. She replied, Famous Yi, thank you, bro. Nye Hollow Pit, you're welcome, you're welcome. We're family after all. Yi Wanwan chuckled. This guy was quite into his character. Famous Yi, today's the weekend, so I went out with Tang Tang all day. Tang Tang had a good time. Yi Wanwan sent this and generously attached all the photos she took that day. Chapter 1031. Aside from the photos, there was also a video of Tang Tang and her riding the swing together. Nameless Nya felt overwhelmed by the gift. Not only did she send so many photos at once, but she also included a video. Nameless Nya happily opened the video. And then he saw an absurdly long swing hanging from the tops of 2 trees. On the video, Yuanwan led Tang Tang onto the enormous swing, and they swung back and forth in the air. Famous Yi, I didn't lie to you, right? Look at how well I took care of Tang Tang. Nameless Nya gulped. He had no idea how to respond. He heard her mentioning that her boyfriend was back and successfully played the role of dad. With Si Yihan's personality, he actually didn't question her upon seeing her acting this wild. Nya hollow pit, I say, why doesn't your man manage you a bit? Famous Yi, of course he manages me. He said my swing wasn't any good, so he's going to find someone to make a new one for me. Nya hollow pit, just act like I didn't ask anything. Nameless Nya opened the other photos. It featured the family of 3 and a giant white tiger picking mushrooms in the wild, climbing trees to pick wild fruit, and treading into the river to catch fish. His cleanliness-obsessed little devil had his sleeves and pants rolled up and was enthusiastically foraging for food in the back. He was covered in grass and leaves, and his hands were dark from playing. As for the giant white tiger, there were 2 baskets on his back filled with mushrooms, wild fruit, and a colorful pheasant. Tang Tang was smiling in every photo. Nameless Nya had merely left the little devil with Yuanwan for a few days, but he was already questioning whether the child was switched. Was this still his family's little devil? This was an abrupt change in behavior from a little demon to a little angel. Yuanwan thought for a moment before she sent a message. Famous Yi, speaking of which, I'm very curious about what Tang Tang typically does at home. Didn't he have a childhood? He doesn't know a lot of things. When I brought him to a theme park, he didn't even know what cotton candy was. Upon seeing Yuanwan's accusatory message, Nameless Nya quickly replied. Nya hollow pit, I have to clarify this. It's not that we were abusing Tang Tang, it's that his personality is like this. He doesn't like things that other children play with. When Yuanwan saw his message, she was speechless. Am I with a fake Tang Tang? Tang Tang clearly likes all those things. The little fella probably knew he was different from other children and didn't have parents. He probably also thought it was his fault that his parents didn't want him. That was why he used such a cold shell to protect himself, he merely didn't feel secure. Based on her interactions with Tang Tang lately, Yuanwan discovered that Tang Tang was very insecure and was very afraid of being abandoned again. She hoped Nameless Nya was reliable and could find his biological parents soon. Nya hollow pit, oh, right, I'm going to send these photos to my mom. My mom is on my tail about sending photos 24/7. I bet my only worth to her is sending photos of Tang Tang. The corners of Yuanwan's mouth twitched slightly when she sensed Nameless Nya's sadness through his words. Famous Yi, go on then. I'll try to send a few status updates of Tang Tang to you every day from now on. It was unavoidable for them to worry about a young child following some stranger by himself. Nya hollow pit, Sister Famous Yi. Thank you so much. I'll send you a red packet even if I have to collect trash to do it. Yuanwan, no thanks. Chapter 1032. On the other side of the ocean, inside an old antique house, a dignified and elegant woman was sitting on a rattan chair in the garden and looking at the photos on her phone, her eyes unusually gentle. The punk sent some photos over. A man slowly walked toward her. Yes. The woman nodded and gently sighed. No matter how much we dote on Tang Tang, we can't be substitutes for his parents. Look at how happy Tang Tang's smile is. This is how a child should be. The man sighed. Why do you look like this when Tang Tang is happy? Sorrow flitted through the woman's eyes. How wonderful would it be if that girl really was our daughter? The man hugged his wife and gently comforted her. Don't be sad. Don't we have news already? We'll find her for sure. I hope we'll really find her this time. Little Rose Garden, in the bedroom, Si Yihan was holding an adorable onesie with an adorable cow cartoon printed on it. It looked like he had encountered a colossal challenge. Tang Tang sat on the bed in a tank top and underpants and suggested with complete seriousness, "I think it's better if we let mommy put it on me instead." Si Yihan glanced at the child. "Let's try again." The little fella didn't look very willing. "The outcome will be the same regardless." Si Yihan stared at the pajamas in his hands for a long while before finally snapping a photo of it and posting it in the group chat. After he left the group last time, Lin K added him again. "Si Yihan, how do I put this on?" Lin K came online almost immediately. It was plausible he was incredibly bored and was staring at his phone day and night. "Lin K, ninth brother, is our group merely customer service to you?" Lin K replied sadly before typing. "Lin K, ninth brother, what's that in your photo? Are these clothes? Aren't they too weird? Who bought it?" Si Yihan, Wan. Lin K, these clothes are truly too cute. Sister-in-law's taste is superb. Excellent. Lin K tactfully switched his tone. "Lin K, speaking of which, ninth brother, Xie Zhizhi and I are both single. Why would we know how to put on children's clothes? Let me help you ask my friends to see if they know." "Xie Zhizhi, you have friends who aren't single? Why don't I know this?" Xie Zhizhi suddenly showed up. "Lin K, damn. As if you aren't one yourself." As Si Yihan watched the conversation in the group, he finally realized he asked his question in the wrong place. "Baby, are you done showering?" At that moment, Yi Wanwan's voice came from outside the door. "Mommy." The little fella immediately looked happy when he heard Yi Wanwan's voice. What is it?" As soon as Yi Wanwan entered, she spotted Si Yihan holding the pajamas in his hands like it was some difficult science problem. "Daddy doesn't know how to put it on," Tang Tang interjected. "Oh," Yi Wanwan sweated. "I forgot about this. Allow me." Yi Wanwan was about to take the pajamas, but Si Yihan didn't move. "Teach me." How could he allow his wife to dress another man? Yi Wanwan didn't expect Si Yihan to like Tang Tang so much and insist on dressing him personally, but she was naturally happy and replied immediately, "Okay, I'll teach you. First, you reverse it and open the row of hidden buttons inside. Then, you put it on the legs first and the arms after that." Si Yihan followed Yi Wanwan's instructions and started dressing Tang Tang. The little fella cooperatively opened his arms, but his eyes were full of resentment. Chapter 1033. It was soon the day of the martial arts conference. Yi Wanwan woke up early in the morning excitedly and put on some white workout clothes. Si Yihan, who was currently heading to some contract signing ceremony, called again with concern, "Do you remember what I said?" Yi Wanwan hurriedly promised him, I remember. Don't stir trouble. Don't worry about me and do your own thing. Leave Mr. Mu to me. I guarantee I'll finish the mission and won't fight." By the time she finished painstakingly relieving Si Yihan of his worries and ordering old Jiang and the others to watch the house, Su Yi was waiting outside with the people he selected. "Miss Wanwan, these 5 people are new guards and are quite skilled. They've gone through the standard business etiquette training." Su Yi introduced them to Yi Wanwan. Yi Wanwan looked over the 5 people and imperceptibly nodded. "All right." Then Su Yi introduced Yi Wanwan to the 5 people. "Miss Yi is your representative and leader. You'll obey all of her arrangements and commands." The 5 people automatically met each other's eyes when they heard this, their brows furrowed with surprise on their faces. They hadn't expected their leader to be some dainty girl. However, the 5 people didn't dare doubt Su Yi and repressed all their dissatisfaction. They responded simultaneously, "Yes. Greetings, Miss Yi." Yi Wanwan, "All right, let's take off then if there's nothing else." At the same time, on the training grounds of the Sun family, the arena for the martial arts conference was already set up. There was a stage inside an octagonal wired cage and a row of seats beneath the stage. Qin Ruoshi had arrived with the 5 meticulously picked people from her clan. Ruoshi, you're here. Sun Xuezhen immediately went up and greeted her. Sun Lizheng was also very polite toward Qin Ruoshi when he saw her. Ruoshi, thanks for pulling some strings for us this time. Qin Ruoshi nonchalantly said, Uncle Sun, you're too polite. It was no bother. Sun Lizheng said, your no bother really helped me though. Sun Xuezhen affectionately pulled Qin Ruoshi to a seat and sat down. It's not easy for most people to even speak to Mr. Mu. If it wasn't for your help, how could we have invited him to our house? Sun Xuezhen glanced at the 5 people Qin Ruoshi brought over. Ruoshi, you're quite considerate and brought a team of experts here. I heard Uncle Qin invited quite a few capable people. I've wanted to see them for myself for a while. Qin Ruoshi humbly smiled and said, how could they compare to Uncle Sun? Uncle Sun is the master of martial arts in China. He was able to invite a distinguished guest like Wolf King Seni. Right, where's Mr. Seni? He should be arriving soon. Just as Sun Xuezhen said that, a tall, dark-skinned, bald-muscled man headed toward the stage. It was Wolf King Seni. 5 years ago, Seni defeated Abel and became the boxing champion for WBC. In fact, he was the youngest heavyweight boxing champion in the history of boxing. Following that, he defeated many famous boxing champions and became the publicly recognized world heavyweight champion of the 3 major boxing organizations in the world, WBC, WBA, and IBF. Last year, he also defeated the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion and successfully won the MMA championship. Seni naturally wouldn't participate and compete with the experts chosen by their clans during this martial arts conference. Instead, he would watch the competition as a distinguished guest. The only one Seni would take seriously during today's martial arts conference would be Sun Lizheng. Hello, Mr. Seni. My surname is Qin. I've been looking forward to meeting you for a long time. It's so great to meet you. Qin Ruoshi quickly went up and greeted him when she saw the newcomer. Seni merely made an indifferent noise in response. It was expected for an expert like him to have a cold and prideful demeanor, so Qin Ruoshi wasn't hurt by it at all. Mr. Seni, this way please. Sun Lizheng walked over and took Seni to his seat. By the side, Sun Xuezhen looked around the arena and asked offhandedly, Ruoshi, where's the C family? How come they aren't here yet? Chapter 1034. 1034, they should probably be arriving soon. Qin Ruoshi said. Sun Xuezhen crossed her arms over her chest and muttered, I wonder who the C family will send as their representative. The ancestors of your Qin clan are generals, while our Sun family is a martial arts patrician family, but the C family have been in business for generations, so they naturally don't attach as much importance to martial arts as us. The guards in their clan are all hired externally, so I reckon it won't be easy to find a suitable representative, right? Qin Ruoshi's eyes glinted when she heard that and she said, Ajo should have made appropriate arrangements. Sun Xuezhen nodded and said, since they're bringing people personally chosen by 9th Master, it's naturally worth the wait. As they conversed, a group of 6 people walked toward the stage. The 5 people in the back had the C family emblem embroidered on them, but the leader was actually a delicate-figured girl. When Sun Xuezhen saw the newcomer, she frowned. Isn't she that Yi woman? Why is it her? Yi Wanwan reached Sun Xuezhen and introduced herself, Miss Sun, hello. I've been looking forward to meeting you. My surname is Yi, and I'm the representative of the C family for this martial arts conference. When Sun Xuezhen heard that, her face instantly darkened. What did you say? You're the representative for the C family for this martial arts conference. Yi Wanwan's expression didn't shift. That's right. This is too preposterous. Sun Xuezhen flew into a rage in an instant, humiliation covering her face. Xinjin, what's wrong? Sun Lizheng walked over and asked when he heard the commotion. Sun Xuezhen stared at Yi Wanwan with rage all over her face. Father, the C family has gone too far. We earnestly and sincerely held this martial arts conference and invited them to participate, but they actually sent people like her to humiliate us. Sun Lizhong's eyes swept over Yi Wanwan like sharp blades. This is, Sun Xuezhen sneered and replied, she's the one I told you about, Si Yihan's lover. As soon as Sun Lizhong heard this, his face also changed. Miss, regardless of how you made your way inside, I'm sorry. This isn't a place you can play around. When the nameless experts of the Si family heard Sun Lizhong's harsh words and were faced with the mocking looks from the experts of the other two families, they all looked embarrassed. I wanted to say something when Steward Su introduced us earlier. Why's Ninth Master letting this woman be our captain? That's right. She's humiliating us along with her. In this tense atmosphere, Qin Ruoxi quickly stepped forward and abruptly smoothed things over. Uncle Sun, Xuezhen, don't be angry. Ajio absolutely didn't intend that. Miss Yi does have her own distinct understanding of martial arts and is quite skilled too. The Si family didn't intend to look down on this martial arts conference in the slightest. Sun Xuezhen looked like she expected better from Qin Ruoxi. Ruoxi, you're still making excuses for Si Yihan despite how he treated you. I didn't believe the rumors from the Si family that he was utterly bewitched by this woman. I didn't expect them to be true. Just as Sun Xuezhen was about to continue, a disciple arrived while leading Mu Suifeng. Master, Mr. Mu is here. Sun Lizhong and Sun Xuezhen didn't have time to worry about Yi Wanwan anymore and instantly focused all their attention onto Mu Suifeng. They quickly walked forward to receive him. Sun Lizhong, Mr. Mu, pardon me for not going out to meet you. Please, have a seat. Mu Suifeng waved his hand. Mr. Sun, you're too polite. I've long heard of Mr. Sun's famous reputation. It's my honor to meet Mr. Sun today. Mu Suifeng had always been extremely polite to masters of martial arts. Sun Lizhong instantly felt his ego soaring, and the experts of the Sun family next to him all had proud expressions too. Chapter 1035 Sun Xuezhen evaded Mu Suifeng and walked to Qin Ruoxi's side, speaking quietly, Ruoxi, aren't you going to do something about this? Qin Ruoxi's brows furrowed slightly, and she looked at Sun Xuezhen. We can't question Ajio's private matters. The martial arts conference is held by our three families together. Since Ajio sent Miss Yi here, then he must have his own plans. Moreover, Miss Yi is truly quite talented in martial arts. When Sun Xuezhen heard her, Sun Xuezhen glanced at Yi Wanwan a few times in assessment before snorting and saying contemptuously, Miss Yi is quite talented in martial arts? Ha! I certainly hope so. Sun Xuezhen felt nothing but disgust toward Yi Wanwan. She couldn't interfere with the Si family's business, nor did it have anything to do with her. However, the Sun family was the chief organizer of this martial arts conference, and the representative of the Si family did have to go on stage eventually and compare notes. It wouldn't be a big deal if the Si family was disgraced from this woman humiliating herself on stage, but it would implicate the Sun family as well. After all, Wolf King Seni and Mr. Mu were both important distinguished guests of the Sun family. Currently, the 5 new guards with Yi Wanwan all shook their heads with flushed faces, wishing nothing more than to find a hole to burrow inside. If they could have a do-over, they wouldn't have followed this woman there no matter what. Not only did she humiliate herself, but she also caused them to be unable to hold their heads up. As for the Sun family's attitude, Yi Wanwan didn't express any dissatisfaction and was abnormally calm. She was quite zen-like indeed. Si Yihan already said he didn't care about winning or losing in this martial arts conference, and she didn't intend to do anything but observe and increase her knowledge. Miss Yi, if you may. Sun Xuezhen impatiently said while looking at Yi Wanwan. Sun Lizhong coldly glanced at Yi Wanwan. Although he was displeased, he couldn't say anything at this point in time. No matter what, this woman was sent by the patriarch of the Si Yihan, so he had to take Si Yihan in consideration and couldn't be too abrasive to Yi Wanwan. Sun Xuezhen immediately led Yi Wanwan and Qin Ruoxi to the competitors' area. The two honored guests, Wolf King Seni and Mr. Mu, sat above the competitors' area. They appear to be greatly interested in today's martial arts conference. Next, I'll announce the rules of the martial arts conference. Sun Xuezhen swept her eyes over her audience, and complete silence descended on the area. The Si family, the Qin family, and the Sun family will all send 5 experts to compete. As for Miss Qin Ruoxi and I, Miss Yi too, will compete last as representatives. The matches will be determined by drawing lots. Regardless of whether you win or lose, you have the chance to receive personal guidance from Wolf King Seni and Mr. Mu. When the experts from the 3 families heard her announcement, excitement appeared on their faces. It didn't matter whether they won or lost. What was important was that they wanted to receive guidance from Wolf King Seni and Mr. Mu. Of course, that being said, if they could achieve victory in the martial arts conference held by these 3 major patrician families, they would certainly be in the limelight of their respective patrician family and be catapulted into an important position. Miss Qin, is that fine? After Sun Xuezhen finished explaining the rules, she turned to look at Qin Ruoxi. Yes, the rules are clear. I see nothing wrong with them, Qin Ruoxi said with a nod. Then, Sun Xuezhen glanced at Yi Wanwan but didn't pay attention to her, as though saying even a word to a layman like Yi Wanwan was beneath her. Yi Wanwan raised her brows at Sun Xuezhen's words. Qin Ruoxi previously said representatives didn't need to fight, but it appeared that wasn't so. However, that didn't matter. Chapter 1036, 1036 Qin Ruoxi looked at Yi Wanwan and explained, the original rules stated that representatives didn't need to go on stage, but it looks like the rules changed last minute. However, we're just comparing notes, so we'll stop before it gets too far. With Miss Ye's strength, it shouldn't be difficult for Miss Yi, so don't worry. Yi Wanwan's lips turned up when she heard this. She finally figured it out. Ever since the banquet, Qin Ruoxi had been speaking on her behalf and praising her in all sorts of ways. Qin Ruoxi was planning to make me fail from excessive praise. First, she raised her sky high in front of everyone and would then watch as she plummeted down. What a brilliant idea! The stage was cleared and prepared quickly. The arena was a very professional competition arena and was equipped with even more professional referees to guarantee the fairness of this martial arts conference. Everyone could see this competition's fairness themselves, so they didn't have any objections. The referee team composed of the finest professionals was personally picked by the Sun family, highlighting how highly they viewed this martial arts conference. Soon, a middle-aged referee walked to the spectator area, holding a bamboo tube. To guarantee fairness and prevent any possibility of cheating, they would draw lots. The surnames of the 3 great patrician families were thrown into the tube, and the participants of each match were inscribed on the bamboo sticks. Miss Qin, if you may. Sun Xuezhen looked at Qin Ruoxi. Qin Ruoxi didn't try to act modest. She stuck her fingers into the bamboo tube and drew a bamboo stick. Qin Ruoxi looked at the stick. Second match, Qin family versus Sun family. After Qin Ruoxi finished, Sun Xuezhen also drew a stick from the tube. First match, Sun family versus Si family. There's a total of 3 families in this conference, so you don't have to draw, Sun Xuezhen told Yi Wanwan after handing the stick to the referee. Yi Wanwan didn't object. As Sun Xuezhen said, there were only 3 families in this conference, so there was no point in her drawing another time since Qin Ruoxi and Sun Xuezhen each drew a stick already. In the honored guest seats, Sun Lisheng was conversing with Master Mu and Wolf King Seni when they heard the bronze drum ringing. The martial arts conference jointly held by the 3 great patrician families had begun. In the first match, the Si family was going up against the Sun family. The 5 members of the Si family were somewhat nervous. The Sun family was a martial arts patrician clan, and normal people couldn't compare to them since experts in their clan were abundant like the clouds. The experts sent by the Sun family for the martial arts conference must be the crème de la crème of experts. The group sent out by the Sun family was made up of 5 brothers. They were ranked according to their martial strength, from eldest son to 5th son, with 5th son being the weakest and eldest son being the strongest. Bing Xian, you first, Sun Xuezhen told 5th Sunday. When the young man heard this, he nodded at Sun Xuezhen and walked toward the stage with large strides. fifth son was on the stage a few breaths later. Yu Wanwan was currently assessing the 5 people from the C family. As they watched her, they all shook their heads. What could this woman possibly know? Did she actually want to appoint them in order? Although Steward Su told the 5 of them to listen to Yu Wanwan's directions and commands, this woman was completely clueless about martial arts, so careless commands would only disrupt their rhythm. Yu Wanwan thought for a long time while staring at them before she finally shook her head. Go up as you please. Yu Wanwan was unfamiliar with these 5 new guards from the C family and their abilities, so it was better for them to act at will. However, Yu Wanwan's words sounded ridiculous to others. She was the representative of the C family, but she wasn't decisive at all and wanted her teammates to act as they pleased. Utterly absurd. Chapter 1037, Ruashi, could it be that the C family has some complaints against our Sun family? Sun Shuezhen asked with annoyance while looking at Qin Ruashi. Qin Ruashi replied, they don't, Shuezhen. Why do you say that? They don't? Sun Shuezhen snorted. Since they don't have any complaints, why are they letting someone like her disgust and humiliate the Sun family? The C family clearly knows how important this martial arts conference is to the Sun family, and it's also hosted by the Sun family. However, this woman is completely clueless about martial arts and isn't decisive in the slightest. If they aren't trying to humiliate our Sun family, then what's the meaning of this? Sun Shuezhen was originally going to endure it, but she couldn't repress her anger in the end. In truth, neither the relationship between Yu Wanwan and Si Yihan nor her status in the C family mattered to the Sun family at all. The Sun family had always only respected the strong. If Yu Wanwan really exhibited some martial arts skills and understanding of martial arts, then the Sun family naturally wouldn't say anything and would treat their guest politely. However, to the Sun family, Yu Wanwan merely relied on her looks to gain favor from men, so how could she know anything about martial arts? Yet, she showed up at the martial arts competition hosted by the Sun family, so it turned into a form of humiliation for the Sun family in a sense. Yu Wanwan didn't respond to the Sun family or Sun Shuezhen's attitude at all. She promised Si Yihan to not cause any trouble. Moreover, she came here today to do nothing but increase her knowledge. She didn't plan on going on stage and comparing notes herself. On the other hand, Yu Wanwan's decision to allow the 5 new guards from the C family to perform as they wished was a blessing from the heavens to them. After a round of discussion, they decided to allow a young man, who looked around 20 years old, to test the Sun family. The man sent by the Sun family should be the weakest in the group, so they also dispatched their weakest member in turn. Soon, the young guard of the C family walked onto the stage and looked at his opponent from the Sun family. He greeted his opponent, guard of the C family, Lutzen. Being Xian, the man stated aloofly, as though he didn't find the C family guard significant. Ha, you're quite arrogant. Lutzen snorted before cupping his fists. Excuse me. As soon as Lutzen finished talking, he reached Bing Xian with a single step and started executing his masterful fighting techniques. However, Bing Xian stayed rooted in place as though he didn't intend on dodging at all. Is a member of the Sun family really this weak? Lutzen couldn't help but feel suspicious when he saw Bing Xian's unmoving figure as he swung his fist. When Lutzen's fist was no more than 3 inches away from Bing Xian, a whoosh of wind was heard. Before Lutzen realized what happened, his abdomen suffered a hard side kick from Bing Xian. Immediately, Lutzen cried out in pain and flew off the stage like a kite whose string had been snipped, heavily crashing into the crowd. It's me who should say excuse me, Bing Xian said coldly with an indifferent glance at his fallen opponent. Bing Xian of the Sun family is the winner. In 20 minutes, the winner will continue being challenged by the losing party, a middle-aged referee promptly announced. This strong? The 4 remaining members of the C family helped Lutzen up and looked at each other with astonishment. The strength and speed behind that side kick were nearly perfect, the timing was especially opportune. Bing Xian of the Sun family was an expert in kicking techniques. More than that, Lutzen was unable to catch how Bing Xian kicked before he was struck, flew off the stage and was disqualified. Referees, no need to waste time. I can continue on, Bing Xian said aloofly as he looked at the referee team. The referee team conducted a short discussion before complying with Bing Xian's request. After all, resting after a match was a privilege granted to the winning competitor. No referee had the right to object if the competitor didn't want to rest. Chapter 1038. The referee respected the decision of the competitor from the Sun family. Since Bing Xian didn't need to rest, the competition could continue. Be careful. Bing Xian is really strong, the young guard of the C family squeezed out with a frown. His strength was impressive already, but it was still inadequate compared to Bing Xian. More than that, Lutzen didn't even see Bing Xian move, yet a split second later, he was flying from the stage and was defeated. From the spectators' area, Yi Wanwan couldn't help but feel disappointed. Wasn't that young guard of the C family too weak? Bing Xian wasn't worth mentioning to her. This martial arts conference appeared to be a bit boring. After another discussion, the C family guards decided to send the second strongest member, Li Yu, onto the stage. C family guard, Li Yu. Please. Li Yu walked onto the stage and greeted his opponent as he looked at Bing Xian and cupped his fists. You should leave, Bing Xian coldly said. Li Yu was surprised when he heard this. When he regained his senses, he involuntarily sneered. Bing Xian might be strong, but wasn't he too arrogant? However, before Li Yu could reply, fragments of a figure flashed in front of him and a shooting pain pierced his abdomen. Immediately after, Li Yu shot into the air like the previous guard and was sent flying off the stage with a mere kick. Bing Xian of the Sun family won. The referee team announced the outcome of this match at once. After Li Yu crashed to the floor, he was dumbstruck. Bing Xian was too fast. He couldn't react at all. Don't waste time. Continue, Bing Xian coldly stated as he looked at the C family's guards. The competition between the Sun family and the C family was in accordance with the 5-match and 3-win rule. If the Sun family won another match, the C family would lose the competition this round. Fucking arrogant. Li Yu sneered before turning to a fellow guard. Boss, you go up. However, you must be careful. He's very strong indeed. A man in his 30s strode onto the stage. Before the man could speak, Bing Xian shouted again, go down. Immediately after his shout, the audience watched the strongest member of the C team walking in his previous 2 teammates' footsteps and he was sent flying off the stage with a side kick in the blink of an eye. 3 losses to the C family and a total victory to the Sun family. The referee team announced the outcome of the first round. Everyone couldn't help but sigh. After all, the C family mainly focused on business and wasn't a martial arts patrician family like the Sun family, so it went without saying that the Sun family would win with overwhelming strength. Yi Wanwan's expression didn't change since this was in line with her expectations. After all, the Sun family was a martial arts patrician family and thought highly of this martial arts conference, so they naturally picked the top experts from their family. Although the 5 guards of the C family weren't incapable, they were nothing in the face of the Sun family. The guards of the C family currently wanted nothing more than to burrow themselves into a hole. This was a 5-match and 3-win competition, but they suffered a total defeat and didn't even reach the 5th match. What was more unbelievable was that Bing Xian was the weakest on the Sun team. Chapter 1039. A martial arts patrician clan and a business patrician clan had 2 completely different scopes. The Sun clan upheld martial arts traditions and it had a very intense martial arts atmosphere with countless experts in the clan. In the audience, Sun Xuezhen appeared very calm about the Sun family's victory. Guards led by Yi Wanwan couldn't be too accomplished in the martial arts field to begin with, so how could they compare to the Sun family? Next round, the Sun family versus the Qin family, one of the referees announced. The C family had already been eliminated, so the 2 remaining families were the 2 groups led by Qin Ruoxi and Sun Xuezhen. In the audience, Yi Wanwan propped her chin on her hand as she watched the match between the Qin family and the C family. She secretly yawned. If she knew this wouldn't be fun, she wouldn't have come. The reason for her boredom could be attributed to the low quality of the conference. To her, experts should resemble nameless Nya and spray of flowers. However, the martial artists participating in this competition were light years away from nameless Nya's level. Regarding their martial strength, the 5-member MLM group was quite dependable. It looked like she had been remiss. How could there be so many abnormal experts in the world? Experts like nameless Nya were in the minority, after all. Sun Xuezhen peered at Yi Wanwan from the corners of her eyes and couldn't help snorting upon seeing Yi Wanwan's bored-to-death appearance. Women like her were only fit to be holed up in a mansion. How could she understand the appeal of martial arts? How many times had this woman watched matches? Hence, Sun Xuezhen still didn't understand what drove the patriarch of the Xi family to allow this woman to be his representative. When the experts' competition ended, the representatives of each family were required to go up on stage and compete. She wouldn't be lenient when that time came. The mere fact of this woman being a representative and sitting in the audience with them was a degradation to the conference in and of itself. Qin Feng of the Qin family wins. Suddenly, the referee team's announcement jolted Sun Xuezhen, and she looked down at the stage. Bing Xian was dismissed from the stage by the young man from the Qin family as he lost this match. Brother Bing Xian, your kicking techniques are decent, but they're still slightly second to my hard-breathing technique. The young man named Qin Feng was languidly standing on the stage. Qin Feng, the top expert of the younger generation of the Qin family, Sun Xuezhen looked away in contemplation. She heard Qin Feng had started studying martial arts with his grandfather since the age of 4. Not only that, but he was forced to strip off his clothing in a frozen and snow-covered land and was covered by snow, reportedly for the sake of training his body. Today's encounter with him didn't disappoint. A moment later, the competition continued. Qin Feng of the Qin family was unrivaled and successively defeated 2 people from the Sun family. It wasn't until the strongest expert from the Sun family appeared that Qin Feng's unbeatable record was broken. Zhou Hen, the first-place winner of the National Martial Arts Competition at the age of 16, discussion erupted amongst the audience as they watched the solemn man on the stage. Qin Feng, the supposed genius of the Qin family, was swept from the stage with a mere kick from Zhou Hen. Zhou Hen of the Sun family isn't some genius and merely works extremely hard. I heard that it's already a lot for normal people to practice a kicking technique dozens of times, but this Zhou Hen practiced hundreds of thousands of times. He persistently practiced each move day after day, year after year, so he could perform each move 10 times stronger than normal people. Indeed. Other people practice 10 or 100 times, but he practices thousands of times. He has really relied on his own hard work to surpass those so-called martial arts geniuses. Chapter 1040. After that, the Sun family won 2 more matches and ended up winning this round. The referee stood on the stage and announced the result: the Sun family wins. Below the stage, Qin Ruoshi said with great admiration, "Uncle Sun's disciple is outstanding as expected. Thank you for providing such a good opportunity to learn from each other today, Uncle Sunday. I'm certain the 5 of them gained a lot from today's competition." Sun Lizhong broke into bright laughter at the Sun family's victory. The juniors of the Qin family each have their excellent points and are all extremely talented. Their futures will be boundless in due time. Mu Suifeng also made a positive evaluation of the experts from the 2 families. The rising generation is to be reckoned with. They conversed happily and the experts from both families felt accomplished. Even though the Qin family lost, they lost beautifully. However, the 5 people from the Xi family were invisible, as though they were mere decorations. At that time, Sun Xuezhen said, "Since the competition between the experts of the 3 families has finished, if no one has any objections to the results, let's proceed to the competition between the representatives." Following the end of the experts' competition, it was time for the 3 representatives to go on stage and compare notes. Everyone's gazes instantly landed on Yi Wanwan when they heard Sun Xuezhen. Although the girl was wearing proper workout clothes, she was bonelessly sitting there with her chin propped on her hand, looking dainty. She didn't look like she could go on stage to compete at all and looked more like some pampered daughter of a wealthy family who came to watch a show. In contrast, Qin Ruoxi and Sun Xuezhen both stood straight like rods and were valiant and formidable looking. People could tell they were martial artists based on their energy and aura. The difference between them and women like Yi Wanwan was like day and night. However, when the 5 guards of the Xi family heard that their representative was about to go on stage, their faces turned ashen. They humiliated themselves enough already. They were afraid they would be even more humiliated after this woman went on stage. "All right, we can begin," Qin Ruoxi said without any objections. Mu Suifeng also revealed an expectant expression. The match between Qin Ruoxi and Sun Xuezhen would be worth a watch. "I heard Miss Sun received Mr. Sun's authentic teachings." Sun Xuezhen replied, "Mr. Mu's praise is too much, I still have a ways to go before catching up to father. Ruoxi is the truly awesome one. She's been learning from famous masters since she was young and has assimilated teachings from many schools." When Qin Ruoxi heard this, she glanced at Yi Wanwan and humbly said, "Miss Yi is the truly brilliant one. She has personally taught the Xi family's guards before." Sun Xuezhen sneered, distrusting Qin Ruoxi's words since she thought Qin Ruoxi purposefully said that for Xi Yihan's sake. "Is that so? Then I look forward to it." Like before, the referee walked over with a bamboo tube and had them draw lots. Sun Xuezhen drew a lot and looked at it. Yi Wanwan was written on it. Qin Ruoxi caught the name from the corner of her eyes, a glint flashing in her eyes. Sun Xuezhen sneered at the name on the lot, her eyes brimming with disgust. She had to compete with this woman. Upon seeing this, the referee announced, "The first match will be between the Sun representative and the Xi representative." Sun Xuezhen glanced at Yi Wanwan. "Miss Yi, please. Ruoxi keeps saying you're strong. I would like to see that for myself today." When Yi Wanwan, who was dozing off, heard this, she looked up. "What?" Sun Xuezhen frowned deeply with impatience. "You're competing with me on stage." Chapter 1041. Yi Wanwan faintly said, "Who said I wanted to go on stage to compete? Do you think I want to die by going on stage? I swore I wouldn't fight." Upon hearing this, Sun Xuezhen's expression changed. "What do you mean?" Yi Wanwan smiled and languidly said, "No one told me I needed to go on stage before coming here. Do I actually have to go on stage just because Qin Ruoxi's forcing me? Moreover, this competition wasn't fun or interesting, so she was naturally disinclined to go up." Sun Xuezhen's face was cold and stern. She thought Yi Wanwan was scared, so she retorted, "You didn't know before, but you know now, don't you? After the experts' competition ends, the representatives also have to compete on stage. How could you not compete as the representative of the Xi family?" Sun Xuezhen's face was plastered with derision. "If you went on stage, then you would be upright and honest even if you lost. Yet, you're so cowardly right now and don't even have the guts to go on stage. You're simply a disgrace to martial artists." This time, everyone's faces also changed. How could she? How in the world did this woman become the Xi family's representative when she doesn't even have the guts to go on stage? She got it through sleeping with men, duh. Didn't you hear? She's Xi Yihan's new lover. No wonder we heard Miss Sun say that this woman was disgracing today's martial arts conference. From the looks of it, it's more than that. Qin Ruoxi originally planned to make Yi Wanwan fight Sun Xuezhen on stage, thus using Sun Xuezhen to humiliate Yi Wanwan. She didn't expect this girl to be so scared to the point where she didn't even dare to go on stage. Did she think things would be fine as long as she didn't go on stage? She had no idea that she was merely making a bigger fool of herself. Qin Ruoxi aptly spoke up in her defense, "Xuezhen, forget it. Today's competition was only meant to compare notes anyway. Since Miss Yi doesn't want to go up, we shouldn't force her." The Xi family's guards originally thought the worst outcome would be Yi Wanwan losing her match, causing the Xi family to suffer a crushing defeat. Who knew this woman would be so scared that she wouldn't even go on stage? This this is simply too shameful. They originally planned to accumulate some merit today, but it appeared they would become the laughingstocks of the major patrician families after today. The leading guard couldn't help but walk in front of Yi Wanwan, quietly suggesting to her, "Miss Yi, I think you should go on stage to compete regardless of the outcome." Yi Wanwan aloofly glanced at the guard. "I'm not interested in matches like this." Rage boiled in the guard when he saw her attitude, but he didn't dare to unleash it, so he could do nothing but grit his teeth and retreat with humiliation. The experts of the Sun family all looked at the guard with ridicule. "Your representative doesn't have the guts to go on stage. I think you should forget it. Even if she went on stage, she would be thrashed by our miss." As the 5 guards from the C family listened to the ridicule from the other family's experts, they stood silently with livid expressions on their faces. Since there were distinguished guests attending today, they couldn't allow the situation to get too ugly. Hence, Sun Lizheng rigidly said, "A match depends on a competitor's free will. Since Miss Yi is unwilling to go on stage, we'll forget about it. Xuezhen, go and compete with Ruashi. The winner will have the chance to receive personal instruction and a match from Mr. Seni." At Sun Lizheng's announcement, Sun Xuezhen could do nothing but endure it. She glanced at Yi Wanwan like she was trash before she quickly jumped onto the stage. "Never mind then. People like her don't deserve to fight with me anyways. Ruashi, let's go." Qin Ruashi awkwardly looked at Yi Wanwan before lightly sighing and going on the stage as well. "Please." Their concentration levels were both at 120%. After all, the winner would have a match with Wolf King Seni later. Chapter 1042 Soon, the matter with Yi Wanwan was overlooked and everyone focused their attention on Sun Xuezhen and Qin Ruashi. One of them was the eldest miss of a martial arts patrician family while the other was the eldest miss of the Qin family. The Qin family placed great importance on martial arts and was passionate about it, so Qin Ruashi was considered one of the best amongst the younger generation of the Qin family. Hence, everyone greatly looked forward to their match. Qin Ruashi and Sun Xuezhen stood across from each other on the stage. "Younger sister Xuezhen, I'll be under your tutelage," Qin Ruashi said while looking at Sun Xuezhen. Sun Xuezhen chuckled lightly. "Sis Ruashi, there definitely won't be any tutelage. We're merely comparing notes. I've wanted to fight you for a long time but didn't have the chance until now." After saying that, Sun Xuezhen stepped forward. Her agile body was as light as the wind. She looked like a figure who leaped out of a painting, but she also looked like an extremely fast nimble cat. Seeing Sun Xuezhen's actions, Master Mu and Wolf King finally started paying attention and nodded their heads with praise. Sun Xuezhen's technique was quite impressive indeed. Not only was it very practical but it also looked nice and was pleasant on the eyes. Yi Wanwan sunk into contemplation as she watched their match. These people could only compare to Heidi and her group. If they encountered true experts like Nameless Nya, Bewitching Devotee, and Spray of Flowers, they would instantly be obliterated in a single move. Sun Xuezhen's body technique might be unique, but its only advantage was its agility, and it was unsuitable for direct confrontation with people. If Sun Xuezhen was an assassin, however, she would be quite outstanding on the basis of her body technique alone. Whether it was Sun Xuezhen or Qin Ruashi, the weaknesses in their techniques were clear. If she went up, she could probably discover them within 10 seconds. Currently, Qin Ruashi was holding back against Sun Xuezhen on stage. Yi Wanwan could tell that Qin Ruashi wasn't going at full strength. Qin Ruashi was quite clever indeed, purposefully throwing the match so that Sun Xuezhen could win. After all, this martial arts conference was hosted by the Sun family, so there was no point even if Qin Ruashi won. Why not relinquish the match as a favor to the Sun family and Sun Xuezhen instead? It had to be said that Qin Ruashi's skills in currying favor were truly top-notch. Qin Ruashi was incredibly intense and every move was difficult for Sun Xuezhen to ward off. However, moments later, she would purposefully leave a few openings so Sun Xuezhen could exploit them. As time went on, everyone could tell that Qin Ruashi's skills in martial arts were higher than Sun Xuezhen's. Every time Qin Ruoxi purposefully forced Sun Xuezhen back and displayed her strength, she would quickly fall back into a disadvantage, and this continued back and forth. About 7 or 8 minutes later, Qin Ruoxi made a mistake in her movements and Sun Xuezhen instantly took advantage of it and slashed her hand through the air like a knife. Qin Ruoxi had no choice but to flee outside the boundaries of the stage. Miss Sun Xuezhen wins. The second Qin Ruoxi left the stage, the referee team announced the winner of the match. Upon seeing this result, Sun Lisheng looked pleased and looked at Qin Ruoxi with great appreciation. With his attainments in martial arts, how could Sun Lisheng not tell that Qin Ruoxi intentionally yielded to Sun Xuezhen? Otherwise, the winner this time absolutely wouldn't have been his daughter. Chapter 1043 Ruoxi. After the winner was announced, Sun Xuezhen briefly looked astonished. This was a strenuous fight. If it weren't for Qin Ruoxi giving her some leeway every now and then, she would have been defeated long ago. Sun Xuezhen originally thought Qin Ruoxi merely didn't want her loss to look as bad, but she didn't expect Qin Ruoxi to straight up yield the victory to her. Younger sister Xuezhen is truly outstanding. I was no match. Congratulations to younger sister Xuezhen for winning on behalf of the Sun family, Qin Ruoxi told Sun Xuezhen with a smile. When Sun Xuezhen heard that, she merely smiled and said, "Ruoxi, you're very strong. I greatly respect you." After saying that, Sun Xuezhen nonchalantly glanced at Yuanwan with disgust in her eyes. Referee, is the representative of the C family really not required to compete? Sun Xuezhen asked the referee team, evidently unable to repress her indignation. An elderly referee stood up and looked at Yuanwan as he probed, "Miss Yi, you're representing the C family today. Please go on stage and compete with the representative of the Sun family. You must compete since you're the representative of the C family. This is the rule," the elderly referee added with more force behind his words. This time, Yuanwan didn't hold back and stood up. All right. Since the referee said this was the rule, she had to obey the rules. Upon seeing that Yuanwan was finally agreeing to fight, Qin Ruoxi's lips turned up into an inexplicably cold smile. On stage, Sun Xuezhen watched as Yuanwan slowly walked toward her and said, "Don't worry. I'll make sure you have an unforgettable fight." Okay. Yuanwan nodded indifferently. The guards of the C family were somewhat worried though. Although Yuanwan wouldn't be beaten to death after the match started, she would definitely be half-beaten to death. They humiliated themselves enough already. If Yuanwan couldn't retaliate against Sun Xuezhen in the slightest and got half-beaten to death, wouldn't they be further humiliated? Soon, Yuanwan was on stage, completely ignoring the mocking gazes surrounding her. "The match begins," the referee team quickly announced. Simultaneously, Sun Xuezhen stepped forward, charging toward Yuanwan. However, Yuanwan stayed rooted in her spot as though she didn't see Sun Xuezhen. "Ha ha ha, is the representative of the C family dumbstruck? She probably can't react in time. After all, she's nothing but a normal woman." The audience fervently gossiped amongst themselves. At that moment, Yuanwan suddenly waved her hand. "Referee, I forfeit." When Sun Xuezhen heard her, she instantly froze. Her hand was still hanging in the air but it didn't land. What was going on? Yuanwan, the representative of the C family, walked on stage, and then promptly forfeited. The referee team found themselves in a difficult situation. She admitted defeat without a single move. What was this? They had never encountered this type of situation before. Qin Ruoxi's brows furrowed slightly at Yuanwan's words. "Ha ha ha, don't torment the poor miss. She's used to living a pampered lifestyle in an extravagant mansion, so what could she know about this? It would be bad if Sister Xuezhen hurt her, that's right. Free will is important. Since Miss Yi is merely the C family representative, she isn't required to compete on the stage." Chapter 1044, the C family's expertise doesn't lie in martial arts, they're a business patrician family. Yet, you just had to make the C family representative fight with a daughter of a martial arts patrician family. What's the reasoning behind this? Don't bully people. Immediately, many audience members spoke up on Yi Wanwan's behalf. If Yi Wanwan was a martial artist, it would have been normal for her to go on stage and fight. However, she was obviously an average person without any knowledge of martial arts. Forcing her to go on stage and fight was truly too inconsiderate. Yi Wanwan turned to look at the referee team and calmly stated, "I went on stage since going on stage is part of the rules. There shouldn't be any issues if I forfeit now, right?" If her opponent was nameless Nya and the others, she would certainly fight this match even if she knew she would be trampled bloody. However, reneging on her promise to these people was a bad bargain no matter how she thought about it. Sun Xuezhen and Qin Ruoshi weren't qualified to even be instructed by her. Wouldn't she be helping them if she fought them? Moreover, she really had no desire or interest in fighting them. The Si family representative forfeits. The Sun family is in first place, the Qin family is in second place, and the Si family is in last place. Soon, a referee announced the results. The guards from the Si family side. If they knew this would be the result, they wouldn't have come today. In the VIP seats, Wolf King Seni spoke with Sun Lizhong briefly before standing up and walking toward the stage. "Wolf King Seni will compare notes with my daughter." "Welcome." Sun Lizhong exclaimed with a grin. Thunderous applause instantly resounded from everyone. As Sun Xuezhen watched Wolf King Seni walking onto the stage, her expression was rather excited. Soon, Wolf King Seni was standing on stage and looking at Sun Xuezhen. He nodded and placed his hands behind his back. "Start as you wish. Don't be courteous." Sun Xuezhen nodded and promptly utilized everything she knew to attack Wolf King Seni. However, the Muay Thai champion could easily block Sun Xuezhen's attack with a mere finger. This, Sun Xuezhen was astonished and filled with disbelief. Although she knew he was very strong, she didn't realize he was strong to this degree. "You might be fast, but your strength is a bit weak. Please continue," Wolf King Seni stated. Sun Xuezhen flushed red upon hearing that and used all her strength to attack him. However, every full-forced attack was easily dismantled by Wolf King Seni. If he was genuinely her enemy, she probably would have died a countless number of times already. During the fifth bout of attacks, Wolf King Seni appeared to have lost interest and broke Sun Xuezhen's move before pressing her to the ground with a palm. "I lost," Sun Xuezhen said while staring at Wolf King Seni. "Yes, you're still young. You're quite decent already," Wolf King Seni politely said before extending his arm toward her. Yi Wanwan thoughtfully watched the fight between Sun Xuezhen and Wolf King Seni. The strength of this Wolf King didn't seem that great either. Could it be that I find everyone average because I hung out with nameless Nya and his group for too long? She hadn't fought for a while nor had she compared notes with 11 and Feng Shuani, so only she knew her recent improvements. Suddenly, a commotion was heard from the entrance, and everyone looked over. A giant bang, and several security guards flew backward like snipped kites. Sun Lizhong immediately stood up and looked at the uninvited guests. "You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.